part 3 is the interactive graph format. So last week we looked at how to make graphs, so that's the easy part of this, but what we want to do is to set this graph up where we can actually be interactive, and it will change based on what we're doing over here. So the first step to this is we're going to highlight this information here, then we'll come over here to insert, and we'll choose this bar. I'm just a big fan of the bar graph, so we'll pull it up here. Now what I want to do here is I want to make some changes from a formatting perspective. I want to go in with here and I want to darken this up, make it bigger, and I want to bold it. And I want to do the same thing with these numbers, but then I also want to go in here and double click on the numbers here, and what I want to do is create a max and a minimum here. Instead of having this be 19.2 like it is, I want this, I'm going to do this at 24.0 for my, let's do it this way, 10 for my minimum, 24.0 for my max, and we're going to run them at an interval of 3. So it looks like this. The reason why is because it's easier for me to look at it this way, because there's not a huge difference, but it's noticeable here. The other thing I want to do when I do that is I'm going to come over here and I'm going to take out, I don't actually have to take out anything, that's great. I'm going to add the labels. And let's set those up to how we want them. Now here's where it gets interesting. Where it says score right here, what we're going to do is we're going to change this. So because it says score, what we really want it to do is say what's over here. So what we're going to do is we're going to click on the borders of it right there, and we'll come over here and we'll hit equals, and then we're going to click right in here, we're going to hit enter, and it's going to change it to be that. So now when we go on our drop down, we click on English, see how it's going to update everything. So it updates the scores here, but it also updates the title here, which is that's what we want to do, is we want to be able to change this and have everything update with it. Now we could go in and we could change the color of these if we want. So if we did that, what we would do is we'd click on them once to highlight them, and then we're going to click on the specific one a second time so that it only highlights that, and we could go in here to format and we could change the shape color. So when we change it up here, it would still be that color. So if we want to do orange, we're single click, then another single click. So we'll take the shape fill this time and we'll make it red. Then we'll go to this one and we'll just do a darker blue. And then on this one, we'll go in and we'll do a nice dark green. And then we'll do a purple, and then our overall, we'll just do black. So there we have the different years. Now what we'll do here, you'll notice when we click on the cell for science, now we can start changing it. So English, and notice the colors stay the same. Our numbers on the side stay the same. What we get, of course, is the difference here. So it's nice to be able to change it over here. We can see this here, but we also get that quick visual, which helps us to look at that. So when we're looking at this, we can notice that there's this trend where it's gone down, and then it starts to kind of come up a little bit. So what we could do is kind of use this year 2015 as a mark, and we can say, okay, what do we do differently during these years to bring us back up? And then the goal, of course, hopefully, is that this 2017, when we get the real scores, is actually higher than this 19.2, because then that puts us really on a good track to get up here past this overall 19. So you can see how we can do this. So here's looking at the different ones. If we go to composite, so we can look through these. So that's how this works. Now what we'll do next, of course, is we're going to work on the second part of this, which is looking at the subscores, the section scores that we get. So that's how we create this, and when we do the section scores, we'll do the same thing with the graph that you see here. So we'll have two graphs that operate off of one drop-down list, but you'll notice how they're interactive and the fact that they're going to change based on what we click over here.